Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, where you join me every Monday to Thursday for your top stories making headlines in Israel. And we are on day 41 of Israel's war with Hamas, also known as Operation Swords of Iron. So let's take a look at the latest update. And we go back to Shifa Hospital, which really has been the epicenter or focal point of attention around the world over the last couple of days. Now, we've been telling you again and again how Hamas have embedded themselves within their civilian infrastructure, and the IDF had shown evidence that Hamas had set up their headquarters in Shifa. This is in violation of the international laws of armed conflict, and actually takes away the protected status of a hospital. Remember, hospitals, schools, religious places, people's homes are protected areas under international law, unless, of course, there is a credible military threat coming from them. Last night, Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus, also from the IDF spokesman's unit, took us into Shifa Hospital, and in an unedited one-take video showed us, he took us into the MRI room and various other rooms and showed us what are called grab bags. These are backpacks inside, Kalashnikov rifles, magazines, Hamas headbands, bulletproof vests, uniforms, hand grenades, apparatus that you would use if you were launching an attack or stashing your weapons somewhere. He took us into the MRI room, where behind the MRI machine there was a stash of weapons, and weapons were found in other rooms as well. Also found, quite notably, was a laptop. Now, just a short while ago, the IDF took the BBC, this is the first foreign press allowed to look at the laptop, and on the laptop were found photos as well as videos of some of the hostages. Now, it's unclear whether or not the journalists actually saw this, but the BBC were the first allowed into Shifa Hospital after yesterday to see what had been found. And I find that a very interesting choice of foreign journalists, given the BBC had to apologize yesterday for a horrendous error, which said that the IDF had gone into Shifa Hospital and attacked Arabic speakers and medical personnel, when in fact the reality was the IDF had gone into Shifa Hospital with Arabic speakers and medical personnel, a fact that the BBC were forced to apologize live on air. I mean, you would think they would have learned over the last month or so how to cover this war more effectively and more balanced, but who knows? Also found on this laptop apparently were videos of Hamas terrorists who have already been interrogated and videos released. So the evidence is there. We know Sky News cast doubt on it earlier today. I don't know what needs to be done, if the journalists need to go inside the tunnels to believe the evidence that we are presenting. But we also know that the IDF withdrew out of Shifa Hospital and are stationed around the hospital. Now, the EU, some 27 countries condemned Hamas's use of hospitals as headquarters, but there have been condemnations against Israel from Saudi Arabia and various other countries for attacking the hospital. Again, Israel is acting within the laws of armed conflict. Over the last 24 hours, 3 soldiers have fallen in battle, in combat, in service of their country. Our thoughts and our prayers are with their families through this horrific loss. You know, the death of any soldier pains us deeply in Israel. We look at them, each one of them, as our own children, as our own family members, and each loss is felt so personally, so keenly. We now go to the United Nations, where Israel's ambassador Vice Brought, he is the deputy chair for the UN and internal relations of other organizations like that, has tweeted out he had a very uncomfortable and difficult talk with the head of UNESCO. Now, UNESCO, which is the United Nations Economic and Security Council, also looking after the children, have not said a word, not said a word about Israel's over 30 children being held hostage. We also have the same issue with UN Women, who have yet to comment on the fact that Israeli women and children were raped and murdered on the 7th of October. This is why we keep talking about it, so that what happened is not soon forgotten. The world seems to have a horrific case of amnesia, and we understand that the images coming out of Gaza are upsetting and traumatic, and they should be, because this is what Hamas have invited on their people and our people. Now we go to Germany, where Germany's foreign minister has announced that the country will investigate any organizations with ties to Hezbollah. Germany has been cracking down significantly on Hamas supporters, and yesterday Chancellor Olaf Scholz tweeted out that it's absolutely preposterous for anybody to draw any kind of moral equivalence between Israel and Hamas, stating quite unequivocally, Hamas is a terror organization that needs to be done away with. We also brought you the news yesterday that Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had made a statement where he called on Israel to stop bombing women and children indiscriminately. Well, the former defense minister and member of the War Cabinet, as well as chairman of the National Unity Party, Benny Gantz, has spoken to Prime Minister Trudeau and reiterated what Israel is doing to safeguard against civilian casualties, and reminded him who Israel is fighting. Trudeau is believed to have reiterated his unwavering support for the state of Israel and hopes that more humanitarian efforts can be put in place to safeguard Palestinian civilians. I don't think any of us want to see any more Palestinian civilians hurt. It is really, really painful for us in Israel to witness this as well. And we note that Israel is going above and beyond what is required under the laws of armed conflicts to safeguard against any Palestinian casualties. 6 people have been injured, 1 critical, in a terror attack that took place just close to Jerusalem earlier today. 3 terrorists believed to be linked to Hamas have been eliminated. Now, found in possession of the terrorists were a significant amount of ammunition and several axes. And finally, we go to South Africa. South Africa, who has just taken a very, very bizarre stance on this conflict, siding very much with Hamas. Now, we want to remind the South African government there's a very big difference between supporting Palestinians and supporting Hamas. And having phone calls with Hamas and visiting the Ayatollah is really, really just repugnant and could have an impact on your AGOA treaty. Last night, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa called on the ICC to launch war crimes investigations against Israel. We would remind President Ramaphosa of how many rogue states you are cozying up to. What happened when the dictator from Sudan, when there was a warrant out for his arrest? Where were you, and why have you taken such a bizarre stance with regards to Russia and Ukraine as well? And more importantly, we would like to remind President Ramaphosa about the 7th of October. If you would like to see the body cam footage, I'm sure that can be arranged. And that brings me to the end of today's edition of the Israel Brief. It's been a long week. I'm sure we're all feeling it and could do with a good rest this weekend. So as we go into the weekend, I want to remind you of our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our Facebook page is at Lottle Site. Our YouTube channel is at the Israel Brief. Our X handle is at Lay of the Land 5. I'm Rolene Marks, wishing you all a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all again on Monday. Shabbat Shalom. Take care.